Well, forewarned is forearmed, I guess. You need to know that in the reporting from CNN about a phone call from President Trump that apparently he knew was being recorded or would be released to the press um, for some ungodly reason, an unknown reason. Uh, anyway, this phone call in the form of a recording had talked about Dr. Fauci, and there's some terrible things said about him in there. But the point that I'm talking to you about today is that it's reported that he said, when talking about Joe Biden, I think Joe Biden has a scandal coming up that is going to make him an impotent candidate. Now, that is given as a quote of what he absolutely said. And I'm saying to you that if that's a true quote, then I absolutely believe that we're going to hear of a manufactured, some kind of a quote scandal that he's trying to, that he knows about, that he's bringing forward on a timing that he's hoping will completely turn around the election before there is time to respond to it, essentially, and to undo whatever the damage is. And we saw this last year. We saw this last year with Comey. Was it Comey? Yes, the then reporting from the FBI that there was an investigation of Hillary Clinton, not last year, but the last presidential election. Um, and certainly, in my opinion, my belief, that's what did her in. When people, and of course, that wasn't just one time, that was two different occasions. You had this coming before as a significant issue in front of the people of the United States. And despite the fact that in the second, then there's insufficient information in order to bring charges against her, well, the damage had already been done. And there was nothing that she could do or say in order to show that she hadn't done the things that she was being uh, reported to have done, and only that there wasn't sufficient information at that time to do anything about. So, you can see that Trump has gone to his playbook, just as he has already been said about the issues that he's talking about, these kind of things. He's just rehashing them from the last presidential election and bringing them out. And now he's going to bring this out as well. He's going to bring out the issue of a scandal, throw it up as being something terrible about Joe Biden, and have that hit the American people in order to try and bring about his election. Now, I would hope by now, no matter what he has to say about Joe Biden, more people are afraid of him staying in power than they are about anything that is claimed about Joe Biden, and then not able to be proven or dealt with prior to the actual election. I mean, frankly, I don't know what it could be, but even if let's say there was something. Well, first of all, even if there was something, you'd have to go through the process about it, proof or not. And then secondly, there would have to be as well the issue of, is it something that is rectified by the fact that having been seen about, known about, reported about, then there's no way that it could be done again or continued through the time that he is in office and doing his work as president. And so that there's no problem with him going ahead and being president and continuing as president. But that subsequent to it, just as Trump may have to be in court for all kinds of different criminal charges, perhaps the same would happen for Joe Biden. I certainly don't know of anything, certainly don't think about anything, but by no means am I surprised. I expected this. And lo and behold, sure enough, he pulls that card out, and he's going to throw at us now. Joe Biden has a scandal. I mean, when he says, saying that there's going to be a scandal, because he'd also talked about the New York Post claims from this hard drive and all this nonsense, which just is on the weirdest kind of a story ever. But you have that thing, and he had talked about that, but when he turns around and says, then it's going to make an impotent candidate, well, then there's something else in there. It's not just what he's been trying to say about with the New York Post allegations and this hard drive thing. There's going to be something else significant that's going to be attempted in order to really just turn this around. And I am certain that as well is one of the reasons why you do not have Republicans just dropping Trump and moving away from him, because they're concerned that he still has power, that he will still have power, and so they're not walking away from him. But for that threat being there, I believe that there would be a lot of people moving away from Trump that are Republican people who are holding office. I mean, the only other thing that I can, as a side thing, point out and hope that is going to happen is that there will be, though, 4 Republicans who decide to vote against the nomination for Amy Barrett, and to put that issue back into the hands of the people so that whatever happens from the election determines the issue. And then if Joe Biden is elected, he's the one who should nominate. If Trump is elected, then he can go ahead and do his nomination. Whether it's Amy Barrett or anyone else, who knows? So those are the things that I see, but I'm telling you now, you look for it. I truly believe it's going to happen. Thank you.